Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name's Cody. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. I post every Tuesday and Thursday on my business adventures and how it can help you go faster in yours. Today I'm coming from Moses Lake. Well, what was Moses Lake? It drains every single year as it was a man-made lake. But the real reason for today's video, it's a video on NOI. I had a buddy who reached out, very well-established investor, and the bulk of their investing is not on properties like this. This is actually a 9-plex that one of my buddies fixed up. It's more so properties like that. Over there, that's a triplex. He built his whole portfolio off of small, long-term buy and hold residential rentals. So think duplex, triplex, fourplex, and single-family houses. And he's done very, very well building financial freedom, being able to retire from his job within a decade, and continuing to work. It was fun to watch some of his videos. But the topic for today that he asked about was NOI. Net operating income. And so I wanted to do an actual example based on properties that I've owned and properties that I've since sold to friends. And so right here is a real example. Your net operating income is the cash flow you would have on an asset if you had no debt. So whether it's 9 units, whether it's a triplex, whether it's 100 units, you add up all the total rents, you subtract out your vacancy loss, your operating expenses, which would be taxes, property taxes, insurance, maintenance, management, utilities, any repairs you might have. And that's going to give you your net operating income, and you're always looking at this on an annual basis. And there's a reason I wanted to preface this, as the buddy who reached out never really cared about this number. It didn't matter to him. The reason it didn't matter as much is because he was buying stuff like that, the triplex over there, which I actually used to own. He was buying stuff that was valued based off of comps, where someone would go in and say, okay, I'm going to buy this triplex based on a price per unit because other triplexers are selling for a similar price per unit and that quality. Well, net operating income is super important for the type of stuff I buy. I wanted to buy this 9-plex here. I couldn't afford it, and I didn't know how to get the bank debt back then. So I ended up calling up a buddy and I brokered it to him. But net operating income, NOI, is the lifeblood of any asset like this. As soon as you go above 4 units, the banks, investors are going to be looking at net operating income. You can actually drive the price of your building up by driving up the net income. My buddy who reached out was asking, well, why is that the case? How can you make it super simple for me to understand? Why does raising the rent increase the value? And buildings aside, think about it like an investment. If something paid you $50,000 a year of income, that would be worth something to you. It'd be worth a job. If all of a sudden it was able to produce $100,000 of net income to you, it'd be the equivalent of 2 jobs, except for the difference is, if it's passive income, you're not trading your time for it. Therefore, it has a ton of value as an asset. Someone's willing to pay. They've earned their money, they work their job, maybe they're a doctor, they're willing to buy an income stream. If the income stream is bigger, someone will pay more money and get the same return as if it was smaller. If the income stream is smaller, people don't want to pay as much. People go out, they work, they save a bunch of money, they want to go get an income stream, whether it's a 9-plex, a 20-plex. If the income stream's the same, they're going to pay the same price. With residential properties, like how my buddy's buying stuff, you're buying it based on, oh, it should be this price because other properties that are similar actually are selling for this price. It's a comparable approach. With net operating income approached investing, when you're looking at an asset, it doesn't matter if it's 10 units or 20 units. If the net operating income is the same on the 10 unit and the 20 unit, they're going to sell for around the same amount of money if they're in the same market. Maybe on the 10-plex, which half the units is a 20-plex, but the 10-plex are 2 beds, the 20 unit are studios, but the net income is the same, they're going to sell around the same price. It's not a price per unit. So my approach to investing in real estate, when I'm trying to grow my net worth, grow my cash flow, regardless of the type of building I'm buying above 5 units because it's valued based on production. I get incentivized to grow the net income, which means drive expenses down or keep them the same and push incomes up. My goal is to go see an opportunity someone else doesn't see. So when my buddy bought this building, the rents were $450. There was a ton of drug activity. There was a meth van out front, like right here. You could probably see it on Google Maps. But there was a ton of less than desirable activity. You wouldn't feel comfortable being where I am right now. Your odds of getting shot were significantly higher than they are now. And he went in and he cleaned it up. And as a result, not only is the community here better, but the whole neighborhood is nice, and the rents are significantly higher. He went from the $450, $500 range up to as high as $1,100. And that's the same reason that the value went from the $615 or $625 that he paid to well north of $1.2 million. If you could find opportunities that other people don't see, and to my buddy, I'll actually shout out his channel, Dion Talk, because he's done a lot of the residential stuff. I have a feeling that he'll eventually jump into this type of asset investing where you're just focused on the NOI. It's objective. It's not super opinionated. If you grow the net income, someone will pay you more for it, and you can build in a lot of stability on these types of assets. It's the reason I love 10 plexes, 12 plexes, and bigger is more stable. Is $100 rent bump on 38 units adds a ton of value to the property rather than a 5-plex. And so the basic understanding, if you can make something make more money, your net worth will grow and your cash flow will grow along the way. But it is very predictable. It's the reason I've sold out a lot of my small residential properties, duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, because I don't like the fact that if comps go down in the neighborhood, my property's worth less. I love the fact that I can say, okay, the net income is X. Someone wants to earn 7% return. I can figure out exactly what the value of my real estate's worth. And Dion, I think if you start looking and considering it, doing your 1031s, and you go into these types of properties, while you don't need to, your net worth will absolutely explode if you're intentional about the types of properties and the types of locations you're buying in. If you like this type of content and you're new to the channel, hit subscribe, put a comment down below. I don't edit, and when I have brain farts, I still post it anyway. But I'm gonna keep continuing to post stuff like this. And if you have questions on investing or real estate in general, there's a lot more content on one of my past channels, Multifamily Strategy, and I'll continue posting business stuff here. Until next time, I'll see you on Tuesday.